I'm Michelle. I have over $500,000 in my real estate portfolio. I have made over 6 figures in my short-term, midterm, and long-term rentals. And I'm here to help you while I'm on my journey, learn, fail, and just go through the processes that I've learned so that I can hopefully help you. This is my 2-month update on the rental arbitrage. Rental arbitrage is new to me. This was my first time trying it out with the property. So I'm amazed with how this came out. I had some doubts when I was starting, but I am fully booked out 100% until the end of my term with this property. So that's awesome news. And I definitely got cash flow profit out of this. I got great experiences out of this. Honestly, I don't regret doing this at all. I'm really excited to share with you guys some advice and some tips for getting started with your journey, but we'll dive deep into the numbers, the breakdown, how much I made, and is real estate arbitrage worth it or not for you. 3 months is what the least term that I had to do the rental arbitrage. Let's dive deep into the numbers. This is only my 14th take on this section because when it comes down to the numbers, I get a little, you know what I'm saying? So the numbers, let's dive deep into it. My gross earnings over these 3 months was $11,114 and some change. If we're going to take out the cleaning fee, because I charged about $75 to $80 for the cleaning fee per stay to my guests. I collected $9,306. That is taking out the cleaning fee. So the cleaning fee was around $1,800. I personally was like, you know what? I could keep my eyes on the property by doing about 50% of the cleanings, and I'll leave the other 50% to another associate in my cleaning business. So I have a cleaning business that's incorporated with my rentals. So I have some family working, some employees working, and if I'm not cleaning, they're doing the cleanings. So it's a good way to flow the money right back into family and into the business. And that's something that I could get into. If you want me to talk more about the cleaning business, leave that in the comments below. I would love to answer any questions about that, but can't get sidetracked because we're talking numbers here. So with that cleaning fee being around $1,800 over the 3 months, I collected about half. So let's say $900 is what I collected throughout the 3-month period. That means that was about $300 a month, that extra that I got, aside from the nightly rates that I was charging guests. The best part about doing the cleanings myself, 50% of the time, is that I had my eyes on the property. I was able to see if there was things misplaced, things broken, things that had to be replenished to make the Airbnb, the Verbo, more appealing to the eye, how I can make things more convenient to guests, how I could promote it better by just having things set differently in pictures. So I really recommend to be at the property at least once every month or once every 2 months. Just don't forget about the property. Don't just let it get worse. You want it to get better. You're starting out and you have things the way that you do because you're new. You're just trying to create profits and get started and get running. But once the ball is rolling, you should be investing back into the business, whether you're investing with design, with decor, or with your time, because that's also an investment. So aside from that, that means that I had to pay money as well to a landlord if you're doing rental arbitrage. So what were my expenses? How much did it come out net? I was paying $1,500 for my rent and utilities combined. That breaks down to the landlord as a profit for them because they're paying around $900 a month for the mortgage. Utilities was ballparking $200-$300. It would be normally around the $250 mark. So with that extra money, they were having a win and I was having a win because I would pay them $1,500 and I would be still walking away pure profit of around $1,900, sometimes edging $2,000. So that was money that's going back into my pocket that I'm able to reinvest into the other projects that I have going on, into paying off debt that I carried on with 4 apartment building that I just purchased. So this extra $2,000 was a really great and extra source of income that I wouldn't have had, and it only I really only had to invest a week, I would say roughly 5 to 10 hours a week, getting an extra 2,000 on top of my other sources of income. So that was awesome. So got more experience. How much money did I put in for expenses to improve the property? Initially, to secure the property, I paid about $500 with security cameras and with the smart locks. So that was around $500. So that was just a start. Then aside from that, with decor and getting everything just like a facelift to the apartment, make things pop for your listings, especially if you're new and you're trying to get credibility. You don't want to be that old house on the block that like you're stuck having to Airbnb there because there's no other places. Like you want to be excited. People want to be like, oh my God, this place is vibrant, it's fresh, it's fun, it's young, it's new, it's ready for me for my stay. So make it cute, make it pop and do its thing. And so that cost me around like $500 to $600 because I completely updated the patio area, like the entrance. You really want to make sure the entrance, the guest's first impression, is really nice. You don't want them to be walking in and then being like, oh my God, like Johnny, who I knew I shouldn't have let you booked, you know? And so even if like it's a great experience in the sense that like you're a great host, you have nice amenities, people love to brag about where they are, take pictures, investing to make your place Instagram worthy. That's huge. Let me tell you this though. If I was planning to stay longer and to be able to host this property longer, I would have absolutely invested more money. That $500 to $600 is not that much to me because for my other rental properties, I invest about 3 times more, sometimes even 4 times more, just to make things even better for the guests and just to have a better experience, the best amenities that I could think of so that travelers are like, oh my gosh, she has this, she has that, things that they would highlight in the reviews. So I always try to put myself in the guest's point of view. I would say always invest in the best amenities that you possibly can. I most likely, and I'm pretty certain, I would have gotten quicker bookings and I would have been more booked out if I were to have upgraded and added more amenities to this property. But I was limited on my resources and on my time, so I didn't. But I highly recommend that to other hosts. Another way that I could have made more money is I could have offered laundry, and I didn't. The washer and the dryer is huge, and that literally will, when guests are looking in the filter for Airbnb or for Vrbo or whatnot, they could select only to view properties that have a washer and dryer in unit. So if your property doesn't, then your property does not even show up when they're looking for stays in that area. I did not offer it because the washer and dryer was in the basement, and that's where all the storage was kept for the landlord. So that was off limits to guests. But still, I mean, I'm fully booked and I don't offer washer and dryer services, so that's huge. How else could I have made more money? Heads for beds. That's normally the formula or equation for Airbnb. The more heads that you could get in there, the more money that you can charge, because then people could divide that cost throughout more people and make it more affordable. I could have made this a 3-bedroom because it is a 3-bedroom house. But I didn't, because I made that 3rd bedroom into the storage room that had all the replenishments, all the cleaning supplies, you know, the linens, the goodies, everything that I would leave for guests and all that whatnot stuff. So I always kept that locked and off limits to guests. So because of that, I offered only 2 bedrooms and a sofa bed in the living room, which also is a key tip for anybody, or however many bedrooms you have. Just whatever couch that you have in the living room, make sure that it's a pull-out and at least like a full-size pull-out. Because if it is, then you're able to charge more because more people could fit in the house and more people could stay and you could charge more money. I could have advertised the backyard better. And the main reason why I didn't really go hard on advertising it is because I'm like, if you don't use the backyard, I'm a happy apple. Like limit my risks. in the sense of people just disturbing neighbors, people just thinking that they could go outside and have bonfires, or that they could like barbecue. And like, just in my head, I'm like thinking about all the things that could go wrong if they're just living it up in the backyard. I'm like, hey, just stay your butts inside, have a nice calm stay, maybe come in and go to bed. So I mean, if I were to advertise it hard and be like, we got a fire pit, we got a volleyball net, we got a little patio area, we got a little this and that in the back, bring Uncle Bob, Uncle Sam, put on the jazz, freaking bring the popcorn, they could have had this whole vision in their head like, ooh, I could so see myself in the backyard. Just because of the backyard, I'm gonna book this place. And just because this place has a backyard and the other place doesn't have a backyard, I'm gonna pick the place that has a backyard because they have a backyard. And some people I do know, that's just like an eye catcher, and they won't even use a backyard. They just literally could be like, oh, I could so see myself like chilling by the fire, like in this Airbnb, and like they get there and they don't even use the back. Like that's been my experience. But that's just an extra way that you could make more money, really advertising things that your competition may not have, which could definitely be a patio area, a backyard or a front yard or things like that. Let's talk about the landlord over the term of my lease with them and their experience while they're having this rental arbitrage going on. The landlord was able to have their property secured, which is huge. It wasn't secured before. So they had security cameras, they had a better security when it came down to the keypad locks, and they were able to just know that always eyes were on the property while they were going to be gone, because they weren't going to be at the property regardless. So that means that the house now doesn't look just abandoned, which is huge. You're limiting your risk with squatters or with intruders. It came back to the trap house. Who knows where it could have came back to. They were able to also have me like follow up with scheduled maintenance. I was a property manager on site while they were gone. So whenever there was an issue, whenever there was a type of appointment that had to come up, boom, I was there. The cleaning. They had their house cleaned every single time, like a mini deep clean every single time after a guest would check out. I upgraded their space and made it more functional with the furniture that they left behind. I rearranged things, I redesigned things, I added my own special touches, and I had the intentions of leaving those behind because I'm honestly just grateful for the opportunity that I had to be able to rent over there and have this experience. Just very thankful for the trust that they had in me. So, got hooked up for the people. Give it a facelift, like I made the property was a little stale, it was stale. So I gave it some sazon. When they come back, they're going to be coming back to the property. That's even better than when they left. So that's really big, and I'm thankful for that. Huge perk that the landlord had was that they had zero headaches. Because zero headaches that a common landlord would normally have, because I was the property manager. I was the one dealing with the phone calls, with the communications, with being at the property for anything that might have arisen. Like they would have only gotten a phone call in the worst case scenario, where it's like, oh no, the landlord should know about this. They were able to just collect the rent. That's it. I had to just deal with everything else. And they commonly have to deal with tenants not paying on time. You have to deal with them, oh, can you fix that? Can you fix this? No, I'm the one fixing things because they're renting the house to me. So I'm agreeing to like repair things as needed, maintain the landscape. I improved the exterior of the house and just kept up with the landscaping. So they really weren't dealing with anything that they normally would have to deal with a common tenant. That's a huge win for the landlord, I would say myself. So would I do this again? Absolutely, I would. But with the intention to scale. I don't want to just have one rental arbitrage. I would rather have 3 or more that's generating that kind of profit. Like, let's say because like I like to think, for example, with a single family, you only have the opportunity to have one source of income on this particular property. Were to, let's say, do rental arbitrage on a 2-family or a 3-family, and you're only paying one rent payment, then think about that. You have more sources of income coming in, you're only paying one rent payment, so that kind of leverage, I just like that ratio way better. Again, in an apartment complex. And the reason why I would do that is because you don't gotta worry about shizness when it comes down to the exterior. I think it's way better when you're just focusing on the inside of the apartment that you have to maintain and keep up with. Reaching out to places that's more touristy, that's closer to hospitals, so that I could also gear it towards like a midterm rental or somewhere that's has multiple units in one. And at the end of the day, I would never regret this, even if I didn't make that kind of profit, even though it's great that I did. Hey, no, but it's like at the end of the day, I have a way better outlook and experience on how I'm managing in the future and how I could better manage more listings, because this was my 3rd listing that I was managing. So I was 3 in 1 that I was managing, and right now I have 4 up and coming. And with this extra listing, I was able to have different experiences with different guests that I would have not had in the past. And so I'm really thankful for that, because there's like different precautions that I now have in mind, or different ways that like I'm going to systemize things so that's easier on my end. So I'm really looking forward to taking on this challenge and this journey of having 7 units up and running for short-term rentals, midterm rentals, and long-term rentals. So I'm so excited. I got this rental arbitrage just because I put it out into the universe, and I like rehearsed what I would say. I already put myself in the position in my mind that I was like, I have a rental arbitrage. This is what how I'm gonna present it. This is the one that I have in mind. This is the numbers that I have in mind. This is the area that I'm thinking of, and boom, seriously, it came out just like that. So I really want to give a shout out to Rob Apostolo, another YouTuber influencer who said this on the Bigger Pockets podcast. I don't know which one exactly. He said this, and I swear to you not, I said in my head, I was like, Rob, you're right. On Facebook, I'm gonna put this out on social media, and I did put it out on social media that day. People will look at you differently. People will hear what you're saying differently because of the intentions that you have, and they know it because you're putting it out there. That's huge. Don't doubt yourself. If you like this video, please give it a share to anybody who is thinking about doing rental arbitrage, who is like, I'm on the fence. I don't know exactly like what might be my options, or if I'm going to be able to like even get bookings. What if I do this and I don't get bookings, or whatever the case is, and then I still have to pay a landlord because it's rental arbitrage. This is a short little snippet before we end the video. Right now, it is the 2-month mark. It is November 15th since I launched this property to go live. And I'm fully booked out until December 18th. That is because I found one of the guests. They were looking to stay somewhere long-term, and they just needed a place to stay until they do find a place. So this was their in-between. And just like that, I was able to be fully booked out for the rest of the month. If I didn't try, if I didn't just go ahead and go live and say like I'm gonna do the best that I can, I'm gonna give everyone a great experience like I did for this particular person, and not if you're really concerned, then make a little make an agreement with the landlord. Hey, if I need to get out of this, like, can I give you 30-day notice, like, to quit? I highly recommend. Do your research, of course, before you even go anywhere, and just start to do rental arbitrage so that you know that the area makes sense. You could go on Price Labs. You could look at the neighborhood data over there. You could do AirDNA and look at the data. You can just go on Airbnb like as if you're going to be a guest yourself staying over there at the property, and see what the competition is looking like, what their calendars are looking like. Like, do your research. If it makes sense and it looks like people are going and traveling there, then, and you're doing a great job and you're providing a great space for a great value, give it a shot. It's all about experience. But share this with somebody who needed to hear that, because I wouldn't have been making an extra $2,000 a month if I didn't go ahead and do that myself. Like this, if you can, give it a shout out on anything. And subscribe to the channel for more things like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with the next one.